And let's go through, let's get a little live stream video going, talking about some sell high wide receivers. Now, not every single one of these players will be a sell high guy this week. I think about half of this video, honestly, are guys that I'm looking at saying, you know what, maybe we don't want to be selling right this second, but we're expecting massive weeks this week. Put them in your starting lineup and then look to sell them the week following. But of course, before we get into it, go down there, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, but I'm assuming 99% of y'all have already subscribed. So just hit the bell next to the subscribe button if you want to be able to come out to our live streams, get your questions answered, obviously, and hang out with us every single day. As y'all can tell by my voice, have not missed a live stream in over 100 days. Last but not least, if you want to check out any of these player props on Underdog Fantasy, there are a million more than just this. You can find the link in the description of the video. You can find it in the comment section on Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up with promo code FLOCK, they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. Available in damn near every single state. And I feel like we literally get to cheat. Come on. Are you kidding me, Underdog? I thought they were in the business of making money, but apparently they're giving us these free lines here. We've taken the under on Justin Fields passing attempts pretty much every single week. What's funny is we're recording this right before the Thursday night game. So, you know, we are going to have people watching this on Friday morning going, oh my God, Mason, the man just threw the ball for 40 times. That may or may not happen, but regardless, I'll be happy to go through and take that Justin Fields under. Now let's go through. Let's look at what we have with some of these sell high receivers. This first guy is going to be a little bit dependent here. Okay. So obviously we have a lot going on in New Orleans with Chris Olave. He has been a locked and loaded must start wide receiver for us for quite some time now. I could not be more excited about what we have with Chris Olave for the long term. In Dynasty Fantasy Football Leagues, oh dear God, Olave's a stud to build around for a very long time. However, in redraft leagues, with Chris Olave, as he has been consistently a wide receiver one in games that he's played healthy. I mean, if we ignore this past week, keep in mind, hell, he let that Seattle Seahawks game injured with a pretty brutal concussion. He has been a phenomenal receiver. I think that he is a phenomenal receiver. But if we also look at the target volume he's had earlier on, I think that this is going to be a little bit dependent on a couple other players here. Remember, we had Alvin Kamara missing a decent amount of games, I believe a 2-game stretch earlier on in the year where he was able to command about 13 targets in those contests. We've had Jarvis Landry injured as well. We've had Michael Thomas injured as well. And now Chris Olave himself. I mean, clearly the NFL has an issue with these concussions. I mean, you have had a ridiculous amount of people going unconscious. I don't know. I'm worried about the concussion here with Chris Olave. I'm worried about the long-term impact of this. I just mainly want to be bringing light to the fact that while Olave has been a must-start player for us every single week, while Olave will probably be a must-start player for us this week as well, we have him ranked as a low-end wide receiver one. Rest of season here, whenever you are going to be playing in an offense that should have Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, all competing for touches, while Olave is an elite level talent. If we could go through and trade Chris Olave for maybe our guy Jalen Waddle, if we could go trade him for T. Higgins, I would be very interested in that. But let's go over to our next player here, someone that's been on a sell high video for us over and over and over again. Courtland Sutton. Now, of course, if you have anything you want to say to me, if you want to go, Mason, you're an idiot, I'm tired of this Courtland Sutton hate, take your L, feel free to go to the comment section. I'll reply to as many of those comments as I possibly can. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. Feel free to call me stupid. But here, if we're looking at Courtland Sutton, I mean, while he has, on the whole, been very good this season, 5 games so far, 46 targets. If we look at the 2 massive performances that we've had with 122 receiving yards, with 97 receiving yards, was there something special about these games? I would argue yes. I would argue there is definitely something special about this in that these were the games where you had Jerry Jeudy leaving early week 2. Jerry Jeudy dealing with a shoulder and rib injury going into week 3 where we thought that Jerry Jeudy wasn't even going to play. He was a game time type decision. And if we go back and look at what we've had with Courtland Sutton over the past 2 seasons now in Denver, with Sutton here, this is a wide receiver that averaged 46 receiving yards per game in games where Jerry Jeudy played alongside him, and 23 receiving yards per game with no Jerry Jeudy. I'm sorry, I had that flipped. Obviously, much better with Jerry Jeudy. Much better without Jerry Jeudy than he has been with Jeudy. And we are seeing a similar trend so far this season. If we look at weeks 1, 4, and 5 for the combo of Courtland Sutton as well as Jerry Jeudy, you had Jeudy with about 6.7 targets in those games, Courtland Sutton with about 5.3. You had Jerry Jeudy with about 69 receiving yards in those games. You had Courtland Sutton with about 54. I'm not coming out here and saying, oh, Jerry Jeudy's the wide receiver one in this offense. I told you so, yada, yada, yada. I think that they are co-wide receiver ones. I think that there is not an alpha here in Denver. And I think with how damn bad Russell Wilson has looked so far, if you are going to be a wide receiver that's hyper-productive in Denver, you have to be someone that is commanding every single target. So I would be looking to go through and sell Courtland Sutton, see if we can get Jalen Waddle, see if we can get T. Higgins, those two guys that we're going to be recommending over and over again. Now let's go over to another offense that has been pretty disappointing. Let's go over and let's look at the Green Bay Packers with Romeo Doubs here. I mean, with Romeo Doubs, yes, this is a wide receiver that looks like he's full-blown breaking out his rookie season. I think that a lot of people want to get excited for the right reasons. I mean, going in to the recent past with Aaron Rodgers and the wide receiver one in Green Bay. Said wide receiver one, whether that's Randall Cobb in his prime, Jordy Nelson, Devontae, so many guys. We did the math coming into this season. Out of like the 15 seasons that you had with Aaron Rodgers starting, something like 14 of those, he had produced a top 10 wide receiver in fantasy. I'm pulling those numbers out of my butts, very close to that. Whereas with Romeo Doubs, even if you think that he is the wide receiver one in Green Bay, what I'm going to go back to what we've said over and over again is, I think that this offense is going to be a little bit more spread out. I think that you are going to get some going over to Romeo Doubs, some going over to Randall Cobb, some going over to Allen Lazard. I don't know. It is very difficult for me to come through and say, okay, well, yeah, Romeo Doubs is someone that we can ever really get excited about putting in our starting lineup. Maybe if you were like on Underdog in a best ball format, then sure, we can be excited about it, but not in a real league. Very similar to our next guy, Devin Duvernay. You can see that he's on our University of Texas wall right now. Hook 'em horns. I used to see our guy, Devin Duvernay, at the Rec. I promise you, I'm a bigger Devin Duvernay fanboy than anybody else here. I want to see him do well. And I have been so happy with what we've had so far this season. I mean, I drafted Devin Duvernay in the 18th round of a lot of those best ball drafts on Underdog. Hence why we are straight up crushing those drafts, pretty much doing better than anybody else. However, if we take a step back, if we go and look at the overall volume, you've had 20 targets, guys. You've had 20 targets. He's been good in fantasy, returned a kick for a touchdown. He kind of looked like a poor man's Deebo Samuel this past week with 7 targets, with 24 rushing yards. When Bateman comes back in, Duvernay's not somebody who concerned. I know you're not going to get a lot. I know maybe I'm even wasting your time saying this, but I'm looking at Devin Duvernay as a little sprinkle on another trade that we are trying to get done. Maybe if you want to try to trade away Sutton and go get T. Higgins, and he says no, be like, hey man, what if I throw in Devin Duvernay? Try to get a deal done that way. But now going over to our next guy, very similar to what we were talking about at the beginning of the video. Some of these players we are not looking to trade right this second. However, we are going to be looking to sell them a week from now. Wrong button. Terry McLaurin here. With Terry McLaurin, I'm actually expecting a very good performance on Thursday night. If you look historically, Carson Wentz has been a phenomenal quarterback on Thursday night. Not saying Carson Wentz is good. Y'all know I was saying pump the brakes. Carson Wentz is going to be much worse than he started out with for the first 2 weeks. People got mad at us for it. But very similar to Kirk Cousins, 1 p.m. Eastern, where Cousins looks like Brady. Carson Wentz Thursday night's phenomenal. But more importantly, John Dotson out against the Bears. Logan Thomas out against the Bears. I think if we were looking at Terry McLaurin here, we should expect that he does have a much better performance than what he's had so far this season against Chicago tonight. And I'm going to be immediately looking to go through and trade him right after that. Right after we have that spike week with fewer wide receivers / tight ends competing for targets here and a very good matchup against the Chicago Bears. Love to look to sell him immediately afterwards. Same thing with Curtis Samuel there. But another player that I'm not looking to sell right this second, but I'm going to get out my phone here, set a little reminder, say, okay, Mason, don't forget. Let's see what value we can get for Gabriel Davis a week from now. With Gabriel Davis, I mean, if you started him against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I owe you some serious props. Like, dear God, fantastic call. 171 receiving yards, 3 receptions, and 2 receiving touchdowns. This is the second good week you've had from Gabriel Davis this season, going back to what you had week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams. But at the end of the day, the man's had 20 targets. The man has been averaging a whopping 5 targets a game so far this season. I know 5 targets from Josh Allen when you're a field stretching wide receiver, significantly more valuable than, say 8 targets from Kenny Pickett if you're Deontay Johnson. But still, let's remember that you had no Isaiah McKenzie last week. Now McKenzie is coming back. But as I discussed, I do not want you to sell Gabriel Davis right this second. Gabriel Davis is going to be going up against the Kansas City Chiefs in what should be the Monday night game this week. You're telling me I got to watch Russell Wilson on Monday night while the Chiefs and Bills play at 3 p.m.? What the hell are we doing here, NFL? Can we fix that? But regardless, what should be one of the highest scoring games of the year, where I think the overall over-under, according to Las Vegas Sportsbooks, 54.5 points. Could be mistaken with that. But last time we saw Gabriel Davis against the Chiefs, 200 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. Not expecting that, but I'm expecting a very good performance and a very good matchup. And then we can look to potentially sell Gabriel Davis the week afterwards. Now, our last guy here, let's go over. He was on our sell high video last week, and he had another good week, but I'm sticking with my guns. And real quick, before we get to him, we are 2 likes away from hitting 800 likes on the live. Hitting 200 likes on the live stream. Fix your life if you have not dropped a like. Go down there, hit that like button. Before you hate me for this, I would be interested to see what we could get for DK Metcalf. Now with Metcalf, Geno Smith's looked great over the past 3 weeks. Geno Smith has been averaging about 300 passing yards a week. And in those contests, hell, DK Metcalf's averaging 10 targets a game. DK Metcalf at the same time is getting close to 100 receiving yards a game over the past 3 weeks as well. However, if we are going to be fair about this, Tyler Lockett has been the wide receiver 1 in Seattle. I'm not saying Lockett is someone we should be trading DK Metcalf straight up for. You notice we have Metcalf on the sell high video and not Tyler Lockett, because I don't think you're going to get enough value for Lockett, if I'm being honest with you. The reason you could trade away Metcalf is because we know he's an elite level talent. We know people are rightfully going to get extremely excited about DK Metcalf here. Whereas I think that if we are honest with ourselves, if we go look at Geno Smith, let me go pull up a picture of Geno here for you. I think that this is going to be a quarterback that, while he has been good, we should see a significant step back. It's a good story. I'm rooting for Geno Smith this season. Nobody, including myself, believed in him. I was calling Geno Smith one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I was calling this one of the worst offenses, if not the worst offense in the NFL. I was wrong. I apologize for that. I'm happy that I've Tyler Lockett in a lot of best ball leagues. I will say that. But still, at the same time, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, I do not think that Geno Smith finishes the season in the same tier of guys like Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow when it comes to passing yards. I expect some serious regression. And I think if we're looking to sell high of any player in the Seattle Seahawks offense, you're going to be getting the most value here for DK Metcalf. But I think that's all I got for y'all in this video. Please make sure you go down there, drop a like on the live stream, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and go take advantage of this line. We've hit it on the underside every single week this season. No idea how Underdog is still giving us 23.5 passing attempts for Justin Fields. Go take that under, available in damn near every single state. Find the link in the comment section. Find the link in the description. Promo code FLOCK gets you a 100% deposit match up to $200. But thank you again. I do appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope we get to see you in the live stream tonight after this game. Oh, one last thing. If you have any questions, I'm going to be hanging out in the comments section for about 30 minutes here, just refreshing and answering as many comments as I can. So after this video, just hit refresh. That way the comment section pops up on you. It's not going to be there because it's a live stream right now. Then go to the comment section, leave any questions you have there. I'll try to do my best to answer them. Thank you again. I appreciate all of y'all and hope you have a great night.